I wonder where you are during this fall day. If you're in Florida, nice and hot in the 80s, and I'm still enjoying warm weather. I'll be home in New York really soon, and that'll be cool weather, which I don't like anymore. I'm enjoying warm weather, hot weather, all year round. It's in the 80s today. If you're on the East Coast, you're probably wearing jackets or sweaters, or definitely at night. I want to talk real quick about two things that are really important. One, unless you've been living under a rock, you didn't know, don't follow the news, or you don't look at sports. Lamar Odom, basketball player and also ex-husband as of July, that just passed, of Khloe Kardashian, was found unconscious in a brothel. If you watch any of the homebox reality shows, used to be a show with the Bunny Ranch where a guy named Hugh Huff runs it. Well, Dennis Huff is his name. Well, Lamar Odom had been there since Saturday. He was found unresponsive yesterday. It's a Bunny Ranch, which is where prostitutes, it's legal in that part of Nevada. And Dennis Huff owns a Bunny Ranch. He calls it the Bunny Ranch. And if you ever saw the reality show, you know he has many different girls. They actually live there. Some come and go at different times, stay for 6 months, a year to save up money, and some are just there all the time. Air Force Amy was actually a favorite of mine. She was really something. She's not on there anymore. I think that she might have gotten too old for doing all the stuff she was doing on there. But anyway, Lamar Odom, I'm sorry to say, was found unresponsive. Two prostitutes who came back in the room found him with on his stomach, mucus coming out of his nose and his mouth. Ambulances were called, and he was rushed, and then they tried to airlift him to a hospital in Las Vegas, a big hospital, but he's too tall. He's 6'10", so he had to be driven by ambulance to another hospital. Anyway, the reports right now today are that he's still in a coma. Doesn't look good. You know, his father was a drug addict, and I don't know if he's even able to get to Nevada if he has any money. But Lamar has 2 children. He had 3. He had a son that died in 2006. It's a son and a daughter, and they're on their way to Las Vegas, and some other family members are on their way. Khloe Kardashian has been there at his bedside from the moment that she found out about it. She went right there. You know, she's still in love with him. They had a beautiful wedding. They fell in love quick and fast. Just the kind of, you know, I'm a Libra. I love romance and love and fairy tales. And they had a beautiful fairy tale life for a moment, and then drugs got in the way. Reports have just stated that the doctors have found every type of drug you can think of in Lamar's system. He also had track marks on his arms. They don't know how recent he was shooting heroin or cocaine, but he had cocaine in his system, opiates in his system. He'd been at the prostitute, he had his own room at the Bunny Ranch where the prostitutes were. And so he had been there for days, just getting high. They said crack cocaine was in his system, regular cocaine, opiates. Like I said, he had track marks on him as well. So sad situation, and he was drinking alcohol. So sad situation. If he comes out of it, right now they're saying that they believe that he is brain dead, but he's still in a coma. They have induced a coma, and he was in a coma. So if he does come out of it, I do hope that this will be a wake-up call for him. He just had 2 friends overdose. His best friend Jamie died earlier this year of a crack overdose and opiate overdose and everything else that he was using, heroin. And then he had another friend that just died of an overdose. And Rob Kardashian, you know, he's been MIA for a long time, and they believe that him and Lamar and Rob used to get high. That Lamar may have introduced Rob to this lifestyle, and he's never ever been on television in the last 2 years or so. So prayers going up for Lamar Odom. I also read a story that's really disturbing today about how many children are finding guns under the age of 3 years old and killing or wounding someone in the household. Yesterday, a 3-year-old boy was in the back seat of the car that his grandmother was in. was a gun somewhere in the back area of the car. He found it and shot his grandmother, and she is dead. Recently they had a 2-year-old. He found a gun in the house and shot his mother, and she was dead. The 18-month-old shot himself in the head. A 2-year-old found a gun and shot himself in the chest in Michigan, and he was dead before the ambulance could even get there. They said it's an alarming rate. 45 children under the age of 3 have found guns just this year and killed someone or themselves. Out of the 43, 13 of the people were shot by the toddler, and the rest had been the toddler has shot themselves by mistake. I don't understand why people keep guns around, not locked up, put away. You know, most of the people in a lot of these situations are just careless, and they leave guns anywhere. This is a very serious situation. Please, if you own guns, I'm totally not against guns. I'm against people going out robbing people with guns or just murdering people for no reason. But if you have it to protect yourself in your home or whatever, but it's fine. But to have a gun, you should have it safely put away. You should have it in a lockbox. If you have it in your car, then the glove compartment should be locked at all times. If you have it in your house and you don't have a lockbox, which is ridiculous, you can get one at Walmart. Get your lockbox, put it somewhere high up where a child cannot get to it. This is a really serious situation, and it's a very sad situation to lose a child like that. There have also been cases, those were just children under the age of 3 years old, those 43 children. That's not talking about the children over 6 years old who have been shot and killed by other children who found guns. A 6-year-old killed a 12-year-old recently who was he thought was on the front porch, and he didn't know what was out there, and he actually picked the gun up and shot through the door and killed the 12-year-old. So it's really very sad. We gotta learn to be more responsible with dangerous weapons when you have children around, period. Also, I want to talk about the Democratic convention debate last night. I did not see it. Again, I'm hearing that Hillary Clinton was the front runner, and so those that are going to vote for Hillary, then you should be kind of happy that she was doing well in the debate. They had a man in the audience who they're saying that he could have been a beard. In other words, he could have been somebody that was planted, who was asking questions about certain things, and they don't know. You remember one of those candidates, I think it was one of the Bushes, or no, it was Paul Ryan, when he was running in the race for the Republicans against Obama the last election, and he had a guy, which they call people who are like plants, a beard, because you're hiding behind something, and he was planted. He said he was Joe the plumber. Remember that? So same thing. So anyway, politics is you have to be a certain type of person to be in politics anyway, and the promises that most of them make they don't live up to it. President Obama is the best president that we've ever had in history. I can put Lincoln up next to him, but I wasn't in that era, didn't live it, and I could put Kennedy up against him, even though I was in first, second grade when President Kennedy was killed. But I do remember my father being real sad and saying he was the best president that back then we say the Negro ever had. So we'll see what's going on. But one thing, Kanye says he's running. President Obama had Kanye was at they had a dinner where it was like $10,000 a plate, and you could actually take a picture with the president and sit with him. But the president actually talked about if Kanye runs, and he made fun of it because he was like, who would vote for a person from the south side of Chicago with a funny name? So he was really just being funny because you would never think that person would be president, which is him, Barack Obama from the south side of Chicago. I know President Obama is going to be happy when he's out of office because, you know, he does that little pimp walk, and he's going to probably pimp walk right on out the office because he did a great job. Obamacare, which is actually called the Affordable Health Care Act, is one of the best things that's ever happened where everybody has insurance, including me. I actually have affordable health care and I have no co-pays. I love it, and it's a wonderful thing where you can, you know, afford your health care, and if any problems come up, my insurance won't drop me because of existing problems that come up. I will always be covered. I love it. Okay, you guys, have a wonderful day. Those on the East Coast, keep warm, and us people in the South right now, have a great day and stay cool. Love you guys. Thanks for coming to the Amber Show.